Right now, live at 5, the latest on the case against a Proctor football player charged with sexually assaulting his teammates. Plus,
President Biden announces U.S. Special Forces took out the leader of ISIS in Syria overnight. I'm Deborah Alfron at the White House with a look inside the operation against the terrorist leader.
But first,
state legislators propose a new bill that could take pressure off nurses.
You're watching Live at 5 on Live Local CBS 3.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Kristen Baki.
And I'm Briggs LaSavage. We're quickly coming up on 2 years since COVID first began surging through the country, and healthcare workers here in the Northland say fatigue and exhaustion have long since become a part of their day-to-day life.
Today, a Duluth area lawmaker was one of several who introduced a bill they hope could alleviate some of that pressure. CBS 3's Quinn Gorham joins us now. Quinn, what's included in this proposed legislation and what do they hope it does?
Kristen Briggs, during today's announcement, nurses made it clear that staff shortages are nothing new, but the pandemic has only highlighted the severity of the problem. So they hope this Keeping Nurses at the Bedside Act, as they're calling it, will take pressure off them not just during the pandemic, but in the future. The legislation was introduced by several DFL lawmakers, including Duluth's Representative Liz Olson. The proposed bill would force hospital management across the state to meet with their nurses each year to make sure a plan to meet staffing needs is met. That committee would need to be made up of at least 60% nurses. It would also set a limit on the number of patients any one nurse can be responsible for. Olson says it's time for legislators to take action and provide long-term solutions.
Nurses deserve more than just our thanks or hollow lip service that puts them on a pedestal as heroes, only to demand they continue to work short-staffed with grueling hours and unacceptable patient-to-staff ratios.
Now, the bill also includes new measures to recruit and retain workers. That includes $5 million to launch a new student loan forgiveness program for nurses working in Minnesota's hospitals. It would also address mental health, since so many nurses have reported exhaustion and trauma from the work they've done during the pandemic. Under this proposal, nurses experiencing PTSD would be eligible for workers' comp.
And Quinn, I understand this bill will be considered during this current legislative session, and lawmakers and the Minnesota Nurses Association reps hope the bill can be a more permanent fix to staff shortages that you mentioned rather than a temporary Band-Aid solution. Quinn Gorham in the newsroom for us tonight. Thank you, Quinn.
More than 70 Wisconsin National Guard soldiers are now trained to serve in the state's hospitals. Governor Tony Evers announced this plan in January, hoping to give overworked nurses a bit of a break. Staffing shortages are seriously impacting Wisconsin's hospital systems, too, with 92% of ICU beds full right now. State health leaders say they hope a new Omicron subvariant, BA2, won't continue to take a toll. Right now, there are 5 cases of that subvariant confirmed across the state. It's more highly transmissible than Omicron, but its impact on the overall pandemic remains to be seen.
Whether the new variation, if it takes hold, will cause that decline to occur more slowly is something that's been theorized that we won't know until we observe it.
Wisconsin reported about 4,700 new COVID cases today. That's right on par with the state's 7-day average.
Dave joins us now for a look at the weather. Dave, on my drive home last night, I just kept watching the thermometer in my car go down and down and down, about -30 when I actually got home.
And then your neck of the woods dropped into the mid-30s below to set a fresh record.
Ooh.
International Falls did the same thing as well. Let's take a look at this morning's wake-up temperatures, and they were worth rolling over and staying in bed for, because it dropped to 42 below in International Falls, 36 below in Hibbing, 36 below in Orr, 38 degrees below zero for Ely, but that's not a record there. Oh, that's cold. 25 below for Hayward, 21 degrees below zero, even for Watersmeet. So bitterly cold this morning, moderating tonight. We aren't going to be quite as chilly because clouds are going to try to increase from that low pressure system off towards the west. So it will be cold tonight with temperatures running about 5 to 15 below, but that's, of course, warmer than 30 to 40 below. That light snow chance is about a 40% shot, and maybe we'll get a ½ inch overnight here. So looking at the short-term forecast, for example, here in the Twin Ports, about 10 below. 40% chance for about a ½ inch of snow, followed by slow clearing on Friday and a high of 7 above. Saturday's a better snow chance, and a better snow chance will help us run up towards 20 above. We talk about how long that's going to last coming up in a few more minutes.
All right, thank you, Dave. President Biden says the leader of the Islamic State blew himself up during an overnight raid by U.S. Special Operations Forces in northwest Syria.
About 50 troops took part in the operation. Deborah Alfarone has the details from the White House.
This is what remains after an explosion at a home in Syria near the Turkish border that killed ISIS leader Abu Ibrahim al-Hashimi al-Qurashi, also known as Haji Abdullah.
He chose to blow himself up, not just to the vest, but to blow up that third floor, rather than face justice for the crimes he has committed, taking several members of his family with him.
U.S. Special Forces had moved in 2 hours before, landing helicopters and exchanging fire with gunmen. This man says, "We went out and saw planes above us. 10 minutes later, we heard screams, 'Surrender, the house is surrounded.'" The Pentagon says 7 people were killed, including 3 children. After the operation, one of the U.S. helicopters developed a mechanical problem and was destroyed away from the target site.
It was a drivetrain issue that rendered that helicopter unusable for the rest of the operation. So obviously it was destroyed, but the crew are safe and sound.
The Pentagon says forces were able to evacuate 10 people from the building, including 8 children. U.S. officials will now try to determine if American action caused civilian deaths.
President Biden and members of his national security team watched a live feed of the operation from the White House Situation Room.
Last night's operation took a major terrorist leader off the battlefield, and it sent a strong message to terrorists around the world. We will come after you and find you.
The Pentagon says the special forces conducted dozens of rehearsals before the operation to ensure its success. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, the White House.
The operation came as ISIS was launching a resurgence, including an attack on a prison camp last month.
A hearing for the former Proctor football player charged with sexually assaulting a teammate has been postponed. That hearing was supposed to be this morning, but was delayed after a request from the defendant's lawyer. The suspect is accused of using a plunger to penetrate his younger teammate. His case is currently in juvenile court, and as of today, there's been no motion to move it to adult court yet. The suspect was 17 at the time of the September incident, but turned 18 last month. A new hearing is set for Thursday, February 17th.
Still to come on Live at 5, Basics on the Bay, a fun opportunity for kids to learn ice fishing skills from one local team. Details coming up next in City by City.
You're watching CBS 3 Live at 5 with Kristen Vaki, Briggs LaSavage, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson. On Live, local, CBS 3.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Diabetics understand all too well the pain of pricking your fingers. But now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can immediately reduce your pain. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 4 or more times daily, injecting insulin 3 or more times daily, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn about this groundbreaking new CGM technology. And if you have Medicare, you can get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 4 or more times daily, injecting insulin 3 or more times daily, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how you can get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
At Humana, we believe your health care should evolve with you. And part of that evolution means choosing the right Medicare plan for you. Humana can help. With Original Medicare, you are covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits, but you'll have to pay a deductible for each. A Medicare supplement plan can cover your deductibles and coinsurance, but you may pay higher premiums and still not get prescription drug coverage. But with an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you could get all that coverage plus Part D prescription drug benefits. You get all this coverage for as low as a $0 monthly plan premium in many areas. Humana has a large network of doctors and hospitals and telehealth coverage with a $0 copay. So call or go online today and get your free decision guide. Discover how an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan could save you money. Humana, a more human way to health care.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Welcome back to the CBS 3 News, live at 5. Here's a live look from Duluth's Lift Bridge tonight. The sun is setting across the region, and we're enjoying every minute of that sunshine. And also, we're ready for a bit warmer weather, too. Dave will be in with this week's full forecast in just a few minutes. But first, let's take a look around the region.
A new way to reserve your campsite in the Chequamegon-Nicolet National Forest, and volunteers are needed to keep the Embarrass Fair going. All of that and more as we take you around the Northland, city by city. We start things off in Ashland, Wisconsin tonight with a fun opportunity for kids to get out fishing this weekend. The Ashland Ice Fishing team and Youth Anglers Wisconsin will be teaching kids and their families the basics this Saturday on Chequamegon Bay behind the American. From learning knots and drilling holes to setting tip-ups and the art of jigging, they'll be there to help with it all. There will be prizes galore, and it's all free. Bring your own equipment, or the students will have some as well. The fishing starts at 9 a.m. Next, we head to the Chequamegon-Nicolet National Forest with an exciting update for campers. The Boulder Lake Campground in the northwest portion of the forest will be changing 20 of its campsites from first come, first serve to reservable. As these sites have grown more popular, the Forest Service began to worry people weren't able to fairly get a spot. Out of the 43 developed campgrounds in the forest, 28 are now reservable. Reservations for Boulder Lake can be made up to 6 months in advance beginning the 19th. And we wrap up in Embarrass, Minnesota tonight, where they are in need of volunteers. The Embarrass Region Fair is an annual event that takes place in August. This year, however, the fair says they need more help. Many volunteers have had to take on several roles, and it's becoming too much. Without more volunteers, they fear the fair won't happen this year. There are meetings the first Thursday of the month, including tonight if you are in the area. We will have information on how to volunteer, as well as links for our other stories available on our website. If there's something going on in your neighborhood that you think we should know about, send us an email and it might be featured as we go around the Northland, city by city.
Still to come on Live at 5, as the cold weather continues and water mains across the city break, we hear from the city of Duluth about how they manage these bursts and what they're doing to get ahead of them.
This morning's cold snap was indeed awfully cold. 21 below here at the airport in Duluth, followed by a high temp of 1 above. Tomorrow we might be able to multiply that high by 7. And maybe Saturday we finally get back to the normal, the average of 21 degrees. The cold snap may have finally closed, at least for a little while. We'll talk about the temperature trends of the week ahead and a snow chance tonight and Saturday coming up after the break.
Stay connected to Live Local CBS 3. Check out our exclusive content on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as our mobile app, and join the conversation on today's big stories.
Hi, Russell Nicolet, Nicolet Law Office. If you've been seriously injured, we can help. For the last 14 years, my office has been helping folks like you and holding insurance companies accountable. My award-winning legal team can help you and your family. Remember, if you've been injured, get Nicolet. We win or you don't pay.
Hi, folks. Medicare Part C plans with extra benefits like getting money added back to your Social Security check may now be available to you in your zip code. Make sure you're not missing out. It's simple. 1, call the number on your screen. 2, they'll look up your zip code and see if you're eligible. 3, they'll check for plans with extra benefits like prescriptions, dental coverage, and the benefit that adds money back to your Social Security check every single month. Call now.
I called to get everything I deserve.
I called to check my zip code for a plan with a benefit that adds money back to my Social Security check.
I called to check my zip code.
Millions of people have called the Medicare Coverage Helpline. Call, check your zip code, see if you're eligible, and get what you deserve. Call now.
Call 1-800-476-5600. That's 1-800-476-5600 now. Get your news on the go. The CBS 3 mobile app.
Follow me. I'll lead the way.
There's always something new under the sun.
Oh, you just put me in a good mood.
CBS Mornings, weekdays on CBS.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Now, the CBS 3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Let us talk about this morning's cold. International Falls dropped to 42 below, breaking the previous record of 40 below from the date in 1982. And I think my Ely swim team was in International Falls for an invitational there, and it was awfully cold indeed. Hibbing, 36 below. That was the record set today, of course. The old record, 32 below, is from 1996. That same cold snap that set Tower at 60 below. So that one's been knocked around as well and sent packing. Well, tonight, it won't be as brisk. It's only going to be 10 below or so for our area. A warm-up of 30 degrees. Look at it that way. And then by the weekend, we could be going towards 20 above. So the worst of the cold snap will be going away and will moderate and become closer to normal, I think, for the week ahead, with a pair of days where we could actually have a pretty decent warm spell. Current conditions, Duluth International Airport, show the temp is 1 above. Relative humidity is 52%. Wind is south-southeast 3 miles per hour. And 30.62 inches of mercury. That's the barometric pressure. It is pretty high. And it's high because the air is cold and dense coming in from the north. And so there's our big cell of high pressure, keeping our sky clear and our temperatures cold and keeping away precipitation for the time being. This is that big line of storms that's been running up from Texas towards Maine and bringing a lot of snow inland and a lot of heavy rain closer to the Atlantic Ocean. We're a lot drier again because of our high pressure. Also keeping this low to the west at bay, at least for a little while longer. Later on tonight, it's going to try to break loose and bring us a chance for a little bit of light snow. Right now, the sky is trying to cloud up, but the higher pressure is also trying to push those clouds down. Bit of a back-and-forth battle at the moment. The better chance for persistent clouds remains along the south shore here, where the winds and the lake combine to bring a little bit of lake-effect cloud cover and a couple of snow showers as well. But these clouds should fill in, indeed, as the night goes on, leading to a 40% chance of snow, and maybe a half inch or so worth of accumulation through about midnight tonight through noon tomorrow. We take a look around the region and towards Grand Marais up to Gunflint, maybe we'll crack an inch there. But this isn't the only go-around from snow. As our Arctic high pressure moves away to the south and that low pressure system comes towards us, again for Thursday morning, it brings a chance for that half inch of snow. But the main body of the low, once we get into Saturday, brings an 80% chance for these types of totals here. From the ranges towards Boulder, I'm thinking 2 to 4 inches possible there. And for the rest of the region, perhaps a trace to 2. So snow fans, you're going to get a little bit of snow. For folks who aren't snow fans, the trade-off for you is we'll warm up to 20 above by Saturday afternoon. Tonight in Minnesota, low temps 5 to 15 below with a 40% chance for the light snow. And about 10 to 12 below in Wisconsin and Michigan, 30% chance for that half inch of snow there. For tomorrow, after we shake off the snow chance, it'll slowly clear in Wisconsin and Michigan with highs from 7 to 12 above. Still cooler than normal, but better than today. Minnesota tomorrow, 4 to 10 above with a slowly clearing sky, which then fills back in with clouds on Saturday for that chance for the trace to a couple inches of snow. But we rise up to 20 above, fall back a bit on Sunday, go back to 20 on Monday, and then crack 30 degrees for Tuesday and Wednesday. 30 to 32 degrees Tuesday and Wednesday. Of course, you're Northland natives just like me. We know what we do when it gets that warm this time of year. We celebrate.
Yes, we do. And this weekend, there's a very appropriately named festival, the Cold Front Festival, right at Bayfront Park. Luckily, it will be warming up, actually, in time for that, too, so people can get out. But
we have to call it a Warm Front Festival this year.
Change the name up a little bit. We'll submit that to the city. Thanks, Dave.
Hundreds of snowmobilers in Proctor hit the trail headed north bright and early this morning and hopefully bundled up. Riders in the Blackwoods Blizzard Tour revved up their sleds, embarking on a 3-day trip. The tour raises more than $1 million each year to support ALS research and awareness. 250 riders will trek 400 miles, making several stops along the North Shore and beyond. Riders say it's worth braving the cold to support a good cause.
Everybody knows somebody's been affected with ALS, so that's the number one thing. We know the money's going to go to somebody that we know, families that we know that can help. Second thing is the volunteers that put this thing together, top-notch, best-run event ever.
Riders arrived in Lake Vermilion this evening and will ride to Two Harbors tomorrow. The tour will wrap up back in Proctor Saturday night.
Yeah, you're not kidding, Kristen, when you said you hope they bundled up.
Bundle up.
It looks freezing out there this morning, man. Well, another water pipe burst this morning in the Spirit Valley neighborhood, and experts say it likely won't be the last. According to the city, workers respond to about 150 water pipe breaks each year. The majority of those calls happen between February and April. The bitter cold temperatures create a deep layer of frost in the ground, causing old cast iron pipes to leak and break more easily. When the water pressure increases, additional breaks can happen, like the pipe burst in Morgan Park we reported about earlier this week. Chief Engineer Eric Schaefer says things have improved significantly over the past several years.
I can say that things are a lot better than they were 5 or 6 years ago, and we are getting more pipe put into the ground, as well as updating our booster stations, as we currently have a water booster station under construction also.
The water booster station will transport water from the lower levels into a reservoir, giving water to the hillside neighborhood. A 2017 water rate increase is also funding the replacement of old water pipes in the hardest hit neighborhoods.
It's that time of the show where we get to talk about adoptable pets, and today's pet comes to us from Range Regional Animal Rescue in Hibbing.
This is Matilda. She's a 2-year-old black and white short-haired kitty. She's looking for a loving new home, and our friends at the shelter tell us she's quiet and shy, but very friendly and likes people and very cute too, of course, as all of them are.
I know. We'd take them all home if we could. Well, if you'd like to set up an appointment to adopt Matilda, you can call the number on your screen. Those big eyes.
Still to come, airports across the country are still apprehensive about the rollout of 5G towers. Their concerns and how they're impacting flights. Next.
At Miners National Bank of Evelyn, we know it takes knowledge, dedication, and teamwork to be the home loan experts. With over 115 years and 4 family generations, we have proven we have the experience to be the best in the business. For your first or next home loan, call the experts you can trust at Miners National Bank. Their teamwork is unmatched, and they will bump out any rough spots along the way. Make your house a home with Miners National Bank.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Like saving money on things you like and want? It's time to shop Northwest Outlet. Save up to 40% on all Northwest Outlet's massive inventory, and that includes all Columbia and all the North Face with all the latest styles, colors, and sizes. Northwest Outlet is your winter headquarters for warm clothing in sizes up to 4X. We're not done yet. Up to 40% off hats, gloves, mitts, snowsuits, pants, jackets. It's all here in stock now at Northwest Outlet, the area's favorite clothing and sporting goods store. 1814 Belknap, Superior.
At Bath Planet, our bathrooms are maintenance-free, made in the USA, and professionally installed by our certified installers to ensure your job will be done right the first time. For the month of February, we are offering no interest, no payments, and nothing down until 2023. We are also giving you 50% off all labor. Our products are backed by the Good Housekeeping Seal of Approval, so give us a call or go online to book your appointment today. Bath Planet, out of this world service, down to earth price.
There are lots of people who are confused about which Medicare plan is right for them.
Hey, that's me. I barely know where to start.
Well, start here with me, Karen. I'm a licensed Humana sales agent.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Karen. I'm John Smith.
Hi, John. At Humana, we know you're unique, so you have different needs from other John Smiths.
Yeah, I've always thought so.
And together, we can find a plan that's right for you.
Great. I go to the doctor a couple of times a year, and I have some prescriptions, but I'm never fully sure of what's covered and what's not.
With Humana's all-in-one Medicare Advantage plans, you get coverage for hospital stays, doctor visits, and Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable and sometimes no monthly plan premium.
Do you have any more information?
Sure. I'll get a decision guide in the mail to you today. They're free.
Finally, someone who understands the real me.
Call or go online now to get your free decision guide. Call a licensed Humana sales agent today. Humana, a more human way to healthcare.
Wake up!
Whether you wake up early or get to sleep in just a little bit,
make live local CBS 3 This Morning part of your routine.
We'll prepare you for any hazardous weather, maybe even approaching 6 to 12 plus inches.
Plus, report breaking news and updates from the most important stories happening in your neighborhood. Some breaking news, Superior Police are closing the Blotnick Bridge to...
We're here for you and your mornings.
Right here on Live Local CBS 3 This Morning.
Local high school hockey lives right here on Thursday Night Face-Off. Whether you're looking for scores, game-winning plays, or more, tune to CBS 3. Thursday Night Face-Off with Duncan Goldberg and Kevin Moore, brought to you by Essentia Health.
The head of the Federal Aviation Administration told lawmakers safety is something his agency will not compromise when it comes to the deployment of 5G technology.
Natalie Brand has more from Capitol Hill.
Lawmakers on the Aviation Subcommittee united in their criticism of the 5G rollout around the nation's airports.
This is inexcusable.
There's just phenomenal room for improvement.
FAA Administrator Steve Dixon testified that concerns were raised years ago that 5G C-band signals can disrupt radio altimeters on aircraft, creating a safety hazard in low visibility situations.
While we have avoided significant disruption to commercial aviation, we recognize that some communities and operations have been affected.
Payne Field Airport in Washington state was one of those impacted. Flights were temporarily canceled over concerns about 5G and fog.
The problem was all of those things coming together in a perfect storm of technology.
Several committee members blamed the botched rollout on lack of coordination between the federal agencies overseeing the aviation and wireless industries, something the FAA administrator says is now being worked out.
All parties are working together very effectively at this point.
We have made a great deal of progress and the cooperation continues.
The FAA has cleared an estimated 90% of commercial planes to keep flying, but the administrator says testing is still underway and new standards must still be developed, which may not happen until 2023. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The telecommunications industry and wireless providers have argued that 5G has already been used safely in Europe. But the head of the FAA says there is no comparison because the power levels are different and the U.S. system is more complex. We'll be right back after the break.
CBS 3 closed captioning is brought to you by Essentia Health St. Mary's Heart and Vascular Center. Visit essentiahealth.org/myheart to take our free online heart health risk assessment.
With over 30 years of providing the best service in the Northland, Ogston's Body and Paint has built their reputation through honesty and respect. So when bad things happen to your vehicle, trust Ogston's to make them right again.
Menards is the destination for your next flooring project. Enhancing the beauty of your home is easy with our great selection of durable, waterproof, and easy-to-install flooring options. Great Lakes vinyl plank flooring and Tarkett sheet vinyl hold up to everyday life and come in a variety of styles to complement any room in your home. Save big money with Great Lakes and Tarkett vinyl flooring now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards. Hi, folks. Medicare Part C plans with extra benefits like getting money added back to your Social Security check may now be available to you in your zip code. Make sure you're not missing out. It's simple. 1, call the number on your screen. 2, they'll look up your zip code and see if you're eligible. 3, they'll check for plans with extra benefits like prescriptions, dental coverage, and the benefit that adds money back to your Social Security check every single month. Call now.
I called to get everything I deserve.
I called to check my zip code for a plan with a benefit that adds money back to my Social Security check.
I called to check my zip code.
Millions of people have called the Medicare Coverage Helpline. Call, check your zip code, see if you're eligible, and get what you deserve. Call now.
Call 1-800-476-5600. That's 1-800-476-5600 now.
Stay connected to live local CBS 3. Check out our exclusive content on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as our mobile app, and join the conversation on today's big stories.
Welcome back to the CBS 3 News, live at 5. Here's a live look from Canal Park on this Thursday evening. Let's take a look back at today's top story and see what's coming up at 6.
Tonight at 5, we brought you the latest as healthcare workers across the state came together to introduce a bill today to help fight staffing shortages and exhaustion in hospitals. The bill will be debated this legislative session.
And tonight at 6, addressing school resource officers. After months of community conversations and surveys, the Duluth School District has compiled a better understanding of how people view police officers in schools. We'll break down those findings tonight.
That's your news at 5. The CBS Evening News is next.
We'll see you back here at 6.